So how does one improve the Attack on Titan anime? Yo, what's good? It's the boy Do The Views, and in case you haven't seen the Attack on Titan anime so far, then some spoilers. Attack on Titan, the final season part 3, the final chapter special 2 is scheduled for a November the 4th release date, which will indeed mark the end of this 10-year journey. I love the anime so much, it's a near perfect show. But you know, despite me being a manga reader and knowing the ending, and despite me rewatching the anime nearly 12 times over, I can't help but think that the show could have done certain things to the narrative to truly enhance the Shingeki no Kyojin experience. So this is my top 5 things I would improve to the Attack on Titan anime. Number 5, include Historia more in season 4. Now Historia Rise did have a really dramatic and really crucial arc in season 3 part 1. In a way, she became the main character of that season, because in a way her choice really changed everything. She could have turned into a Titan and eaten Eren. That could have ruined a lot of Owen's plans and really changed the way the story would have gone forward. But no, she chose to be by Eren's side, and look where we are now. But man, I can't help but feel like they really did Historia a little dirty in season 4. I mean, so far in the anime, she barely appeared. She's only been in about 3 episodes, and they have all been flashbacks. Now, one could argue that Historia Rise's story arc did end in season 3 part 1. So you had 2 choices: you kill her off, or you just have her as a recurring character. And Hajime Isayama picked the latter. But I would have had a third option. Have Historia be more involved in season 4 in whatever way she could be in. Someone with royal blood other than Zeke should have played a crucial role in that final season. Now, I don't quite know what they could have done, but at least we could have seen a bit of her side to the story. But I guess if they did that, they would have spoiled the whole Eren told his story about the rumbling plan. But even after Eren announced his rumbling plan, I would have loved to have seen more Historia, more of her opinions about it, and just something, because she's a great character, you know. And in my opinion, I feel like it was wasted potential, dude. I was just a bit bummed out that Historia didn't really have a choice in the matter. Yes, she chose to have a kid to try and delay the rumbling, but that look she gave to Farmer-kun, that wasn't a look of I want this. That was a look of I have no choice but to do this. I've just been a bit underwhelmed with the lack of Historia Rice, and I just wanted more and more of her. I mean, she's the queen. Number 4, more Eren Krueger. Now, Eren Krueger is the previous holder of the Attack Titan before Grisha Jaeger, and he's such a fascinating character. He infiltrated the Mali military, got the trust of Mali, and basically sent his own people to die, all for the freedom of Eldia. I just would have loved to have seen a bit more backstory into how Krueger got the Attack Titan and why he decided to fight for Mali. Is it because he too also saw into the future and had no choice? I mean, we do get that flashback shot of him looking at his family being burned alive by the Mali military because they were also restorationists. But man, I don't know what Isayama could have done, but just a little bit more of Krueger, because he's just such a fascinating character. I would have liked to have known where he got the Attack Titan from and who was the previous holder. Number 3, have all of season 4's flashbacks as one long episode. One of the major problems I had with the post-time skip of the Attack on Titan manga was the way all the flashback chapters were spliced up and separated, and you had one flashback and then it cut to the present, and then another flashback, and then it would cut to the present, and then many chapters later you get more flashbacks. Why not just have all the flashbacks as one long episode? Yes, I can kind of understand the whole Eren telling Historian Flock his dark secret, but why couldn't we have the Brave Volunteers flashback with the Sound Argument flashback and then the Dawn of Humanity flashback all as one long episode? It would have made more sense and it would have flowed a lot better. That's just my personal opinion. I'm just not a fan of when shows splice their flashbacks into multiple episodes and we keep cutting back to the present. Certain shonens like One Piece would just have an entire arc dedicated to the flashbacks instead of just cutting back to the present and back to the flashbacks. But it is what it is. Number 2, have more episodes with the Tyber family. and how they controlled the Mali military. I mean, these guys were the holders of the Warhammer tie-in. We did get a little bit of their history from Willie Tyber in episode 4 of season 4, as well as the Declaration of War episode, but I don't know, I would have liked to have seen a bit more insight into how the Tyber family began their control of the Mali military and all that. We do get the idea that it was with the aid of the fake King Helios that Mali were able to accept the Tyber family and have them control them, but isn't it a little bit bizarre that a family of Eldians controls the Mali military? I mean, despite their status, wouldn't there be an uproar around the world about that? And with all that out of the way, let's talk about my number one pick for how to improve the Attack on Titan anime. Have an entire season or movie dedicated to the Great Titan War. Now, technically it hasn't been written in the manga, but we have had it explained to us via the Declaration of War speech in season 4. But man, I just can't stop thinking about that potential gap history between Ymir sacrificing herself to protect King Fritz and when the King of the Walls ran to Paradise Island and erected the walls. I would have loved to have seen the in-between. I would have loved to have seen all the carnage and just the war and the fighting, and show us something, mate. Show us why the 145th king decided to leave Paradise. We get that he felt guilty over what his Eldian people have done over the years. I would have loved to have seen that instead of it being told to me. One thing about me is that I love things being shown and not told. I like seeing things actually happen instead of it being told to me, because it's just more exciting and it's more engaging, and I actually connect to the whole thing overall more when it's being shown to me. But I sort of get why it was being told, because the Attack on Titan story is so dense that there's just so much stuff that had to be written. That means you have to write new characters and you have to write new settings and new plot lines and all that jazz, and I don't think Isayama had the time or energy to do something like that, so it is understandable. But at the same time, it would have been pretty damn cool. That is just my thoughts on the 5 things I would change about the Attack on Titan anime. What do you guys think? What would you change about the show? What would you like to add in the show? But tell me in the comments down below what you guys think of this. What would you do to improve the Attack on Titan anime? What would you add or remove? Tell me. Like this video, subscribe for more Attack on Titan reactions, reviews, comparisons, breakdowns, rankings, and more. But thank you for watching, and as always, a boy dude review signing out.